everyone, hi, thanks for joining me today. Now, my name's Rebecca. It's lovely to have you all here. If this is your first time here, welcome. If you've been before, thanks for coming back. Now, today I'm going to do a full face of drugstore makeup for you, or affordable makeup, because a couple of weeks ago I posted a video where I was talking all about some of my absolute favourite products from the drugstore, and I had a lot of comments from you saying that it would be really nice if I would just show you how I apply these products to my face. So, as always, your wish is my command. And here I am, and I'm going to apply the products. Maybe not all those specific products. I do have some other favourites from the drugstore that I also love. So I'm kind of mixing them in with a few of those things as well. So let's get started without me waffling on any longer. Get the headband in. Okay. Now, to start with, I am going to use a primer today because the weather's warmed up. It's the end of April here where I am in the UK, and we're having a bit of a heat wave. Now, I've got combination skin and it can get quite oily through the T-zone, particularly in the summer and the warm weather. So those are the days when I'd usually use a primer. And the one that I have from the drugstore that I'm loving the most at the moment is this one by Number 7, and it's their Airbrush Away Pore Minimising Primer. And I just find that when I use this, my foundation and the rest of my makeup just lasts a little bit longer through the day. So I'm going to take a little bit of this. You don't need much, just a little bit, just a bit like that. And just dab it on my fingers and just rub it through the middle of my face, onto my forehead, on my nose, just all those areas where I do tend to get quite oily through the day. And there we go. That just feels lovely and smoothing going on. Just giving me a lovely smooth canvas for the rest of my products. Now, for foundation, because it is quite hot at the moment, I want something that's going to be nice and long lasting and not just melt away as soon as I go outside in the heat. And my favourite long lasting foundation from the drugstore at the moment is Rimmel Lasting Finish. Now, I used this years and years ago, and I do remember liking it, but they've changed the formula since then, and they've actually added 2% niacinamide and hyaluronic acid, so it doesn't dry out your skin as much as it maybe used to. It's actually got some skincare benefits in there with that hyaluronic acid and the niacinamide. It also has an SPF of 20 in there. Now, of course, we don't rely on our foundation for SPF, do we? We always apply a separate one first, don't we? I did, and I've not done that in front of you today, but I did do my skincare and I did put an SPF of 50 on as well just before I've done all of this, just to let you know, because SPF is really important. But it is nice to have that extra top up in your foundation, isn't it? And as you can see now, it comes in this lovely bottle with a really high quality pump, and I really like it. So I'm just going to go in with a bit of this one, dabbing it on my face. I'm applying it with my fingers. If you've seen my videos before, you'll know exactly why I do that. But just dabbing it on. It's got a lovely fresh smell to it as well, this foundation has. It's nothing too overpowering. It's slightly, I want to say floral, but not like overpowering floral at all. It's just a nice little delicate hint of a scent. If you're not sure if you'll like it, you can always go in and have a play with one of the testers in Boots or Superdrug. They always have testers out, don't they? So that you can shade match yourself and just see what you think of the fragrance while you're there. But I like it. I think it's really nice. I do like a little bit of fragrance in my products anyway. So let's just dab this all over my face. Getting a nice smooth finish. That is lovely. See how smooth that finish is with this foundation. I mean, part of that could be the primer that I used as well, but I just think that this foundation with this primer together, you get this lovely smooth finish. I really like it. Okay, so let's move on to concealer then. The concealer that I have been using the most from the drugstore is this one by e.l.f. and it's their Hydrating Camo Concealer. and I use this in the shade Light Peach. I didn't tell you the shade of the foundation, did I? I use this in Ivory. This is in Ivory. This I use in Light Peach. But I will list everything below along with all of the shades, just so that you know. Now, with this concealer, you get a nice big doe foot applicator like this. And I literally just do one spot there and one spot there. Now that I'm in my late 40s, the last thing I want to do is apply too much concealer. And I definitely don't want it out here, because that's where my laughter lines are. So I just want a little bit in the dark hollow areas of my eyes there. And to blend this in, I am going to use a brush. I'm going to use a brush like this. This one, I think I just got from Primark or somewhere like that. It was really quite cheap, but I love it. I absolutely love it. And I'm going to use another brush later on that I got from Primark too. I think their brushes, if you're on a budget, or even if you're not, even if you just don't want to spend a lot of money on makeup brushes, you really don't have to. There's some fantastic ones out there. And Primark do some really, really good ones. Okay. So we'll just blend that in. And you see how that's just brightened up my under eye area, just helping me to look a bit more awake. Love that concealer. It's so good. And I'm going to put a little bit more just here and here. Because as you do get a little bit older, I think it's nice just to brighten up these lines that you can get here and here. They're called nasolabial folds. Some people call them marionette lines, don't they? But it just helps, because as we get older, everything with gravity just kind of wants to come forward. So by putting a bright colour there, it just gives the illusion of pushing things back, which is quite helpful, I think. So I'm just going to blend that in with this brush. There we go. Lovely. Right, so that's it, the base is on. What I'm going to do next is just use a setting powder just to help this to last as long as it can on those hot sunny days. And the setting powder that I love the most at the moment is Maybelline Fit Me. I'm sure you've all heard of this. It's their matte and poreless pressed powder in the shade Translucent. And it's bright white like this. When I first saw it, I thought, oh my goodness, I'm going to look like a ghost. But you really don't. It just really melts into your skin, and the colour just disappears once it's on there. I just go over the centre panel of my face, just going over that Rimmel foundation and that e.l.f. concealer, just to set it all and to blur my pores. This really does blur pores. It's lovely. So you see, I don't look like Casper the Friendly Ghost, do I? It's just blurred everything in and just set everything nicely for the rest of my makeup. So highly recommend that powder. It's a really good one. Okay, now next in my routine would be bronzer. Just to warm things up a bit. You can even chisel your cheekbones a bit with bronzer if you want to. And the one that I've found recently, actually, from the drugstore that has impressed me the most has been, it's again by e.l.f. and it's one of their primer infused bronzers. And I have this in the shade Tan O'Clock. It's not a new product, actually. This has been out for a couple of years now. And because it's got the primer built into it, it does tend to last longer than most other bronzers that don't have a primer built into it. And it's this kind of lovely golden bronze shade, which I find very flattering on my skin. And to apply it, I've got this e.l.f. brush as well. And since I bought this, I've not used anything else to apply bronzer. This big fluffy side here is fantastic. And you also have this side here, which is ideal for cream products, like cream or liquid blushes. I'll be using one later on, so I'll show you how I apply it with that side of the brush. But for now, we're going to use the bronzer side. What's this brush called? It's called the Cream and Powder Face Brush by e.l.f. And I highly, highly recommend this. I think it's amazing. So I'm going to take this primer infused bronzer with the big fluffy side of the brush, a few dabs in there, tapping off the excess. And I'm just going to go in just under my cheekbone, just under there, and just really give it a good blend with that big fluffy brush. That's lovely. You see what that has done to my cheekbone area there, just chiseled it out a little bit. When you compare it with the other side, you can really see the difference there. So let's go in and just even things up on the other side. I love this shade as well, this tan o'clock. So if you are similar colouring to me, this will probably suit you as well. And I put a little bit up here on the forehead as well, because with bronzer, we want to put it where the sun would naturally hit, so the high points of the face. So up here, down the bridge of the nose, a little bit on the chin and along the cheeks as well. There, love that. And it should last all day. I mean, I have been wearing this now for the last couple of weeks, and I have found it's lasted really, really well. Now, my favourite blush of the moment, not just from the drugstore, but any blush that I own, high-end luxury, out of all of them, my favourite has been this. And it's the e.l.f., what's it called? The Camo Liquid Blush. I absolutely love this. The finish it gives to the skin, it just makes you look really, really dewy. I mean, not wet dewy, but just like healthy and glowing, you know? And the shade of this one is Dusty Rose. You can get these in lots and lots of different shades. If you look on the e.l.f. website, there's even more products on there than they have in the shops. So it's well worth a look. And what is this, about £7, I think? And you need the tiniest amount because it's got a lot of pigment. So what I will do, it comes with a doe foot applicator like this. So I'll take this and I'll just literally do a couple of dots like that. And on the other side, just a couple of dots. And I'll take the flat side of this e.l.f. brush and I'll just pat that in. But you see, oh, I've got some down here. You see the pigment on that. It is so very pigmented, isn't it? And that's great because that means that you're going to get a lot of longevity from it through the day. And let's blend in that other side there as well. I just love this colour for the spring and the summer. I just think it's really healthy. It's fairly natural and healthy looking, isn't it? It's beautiful. And I just put a little bit on the nose, bit up there for balance. But look at that colour. I absolutely love that. And it does give you that little sort of sheen just on the cheekbones there. It's lovely, isn't it? Now, if you want a little bit more of a highlighter, I haven't found a powder highlighter from the drugstore that I like. But what I have found that I do really like is this Milani blush in the shade Bellini. Now, these blushes are really popular. The shade Luminoso is really popular, isn't it? But this Bellini shade, I think, works really, really well as a highlighter because it doesn't have as much colour pigment in it as some of the other ones, but it still leaves you with that lovely, shiny cheek look that a lot of us like. And I will apply a bit of this with my Real Technique setting brush. So I'll just get a little bit of that on the brush, tap it off, and literally just there on my cheekbone area, I'll just place it and just rub it in. And you can see what that has done there, can't you? It's just given me that lovely, healthy shine. So Bellini, number 12, this is from Milani. Just on the cheek there, a little bit more. You don't need very much of this. There, love it. So Milani. Yeah, Baked Powder Blush number 12, Bellini, really nice. Again, as I say though, I will list it down below. Right, so that's all the complexion products and the cheek products on. We're going to move on to eyes now. And the first thing I'm going to do is my eyebrows. So if you've seen me before, you'll know that I had them microbladed last year. But when I'm doing a full face of makeup, I do like to go over them with a pencil just to make them look a bit darker and just to sharpen them up a bit. And my absolute favourite eyebrow pencil from the drugstore at the moment is this one by Maybelline. It's, what's it called? The Express Brow, and it's the double-ended. You've got your pencil on this side. It's a lovely retractable pencil, so you don't ever need to sharpen it. You've got your spoolie on this side as well, so you can go through your brows afterwards. And I use this in the shade Soft Brown, which I find is a perfect shade for me and for my colouring. And I'll just go in with little light feathery strokes, just like this, just over the brow, like that. And then just to blend it in and to soften it up a little bit, you just go over it with the spoolie at the end. But I think that makes a nice difference, doesn't it? So let's do the other side. Little strokes. We don't want any harsh lines on our eyebrows. Keep it nice and soft. There, just go over that bit there as well. And then again, I'm going to go in with the spoolie and just go through just to soften it up. There we go. Just adds a nice amount of structure to the face, doesn't it, doing that? Now then, moving on to eyeshadow. It's really important to use a good eyeshadow primer, especially if you have oily skin. As I said before, I do have oily combination skin, and my eyelids in the summer can get quite oily. And if I have got eyeshadow on, the oils can come through and really mess up the shadow a little bit. Which is quite annoying when you've spent time putting these products on. You want them to last as well as possible through the day. And a really good eyeshadow primer that I've found is this one by Milani. Now, if you watch Emily Noel on YouTube, you will have seen her talk about this. She's used this for years and years and years. She absolutely raves about it. And I thought, well, if it's good enough for her, it's good enough for me, because I love Emily Noel. She's lovely. And a lot of the products that she recommends are from the drugstore. So you take a little bit of this, little tiny amount on your ring finger, just dab it between your fingers and then just dot it on your eyelids. This is how she applies hers as well. And yeah, she's used it for absolutely years and years and years. She prefers it to the high-end ones. She prefers it to Urban Decay and all of the other well-known high-end ones. And I can see why, because I have been using it for a while now, and it really does do the job really, really well. And it cancels out any pigmentation that you might have on your eyelids as well. So it's a really, really nice product. And because you use so little, this little tube will last you for ages. So really like that. Now, moving on to eyeshadows. The palette that I've been wearing the most from the drugstore, if you saw my other video where I was talking about my favourite products, you will have seen it. It's this Wet n Wild palette in the shade Nude Awakening. Absolutely love it. If you like your neutrals, you've got a nice mix of mattes and shimmers in this. It's absolutely beautiful. And I'm just going to show you the look that I've been doing the most with this palette. So I'm going to take a brush, this shape brush. It's actually a MAC 217, but you can just use any fluffy eyeshadow brush that you have. I know Real Techniques do some like this, don't they? And Real Techniques do some great brushes. Primark, as I said, do some great brushes. They probably do want a similar shape to this. I've had this about 15 years now, so I'm just going to use what I have. Anyway, this matte shade here works really well as a transition colour. So I'm going to go in with my fluffy brush into that shade first, tapping off the excess, and I'm just going to go through my crease on this eye, windscreen wiper motions, and I'm going to get a little bit more and just go in again, coming down onto the lower mobile lid and just around like that. And because I have hooded eyes, I'm going to go up just a little bit higher than the crease as well, so that you can see it when my eyes open. Like that. And then same again on the other side in this lovely matte shade here. Again, windscreen wiper motions, a little bit more down onto that lower lid and up just a little bit higher than my crease so that you can see it. there. Now, if you want to, if you're just having a casual day, you know, you could just leave it like that. But for today, I am going to deepen up the outer corner. And for that, I'm going to use this lovely sort of brownie, reddy burgundy shade here. Absolutely love this. If you've got green eyes, these reddy plummy shades are really, really nice. They really do bring out the green pigment in your eyes. So I just do a little bit on a flat brush. I've not told you, I've changed to this flat brush now. Again, use whichever one you have in your collection just to place the shade on the outer corner. I'm going to go over with a bigger fluffy brush and blend that in a minute, but I'm just going to place the colour down first. So just the same again over here. I think these drugstore eyeshadow palettes are amazing. They've come on such a long way. The last like 10, 15 years ago, I wouldn't have bought drugstore eyeshadows because I just don't think the quality was there. But now it really, really is. They've really upped their game, a lot of these brands. Wet n Wild shadows in particular are outstandingly good. I also really like NYX. And now I'm going to go in with an even bigger fluffy brush like this. Where's this one from? I think this one was from Kiko, actually. Kiko Milano. They also do some decent brushes. It's got no product on it. This is a clean brush. And I'm just going to go over and just give that a good blend. There we are. Lovely. And same again on the other side. Blend, fuse it all together. Like that. That's lovely. And then if you have an angled brush like this is actually an eyebrow brush, but I don't use it on my eyebrows. I use it as a liner brush. If I want to use an eyeshadow powder as a liner, a brush like this is ideal. And I'm going to go in with this shade here. It's like a darker, more purpley shade, and it's got the tiniest little bit of shimmer in it. But I'm just going to go in there with my angled brush and just go across my lash line and get a little bit more. So across that lash line there, coming up a little bit higher to give a bit more depth and dimension. Back into it. I'm going to also run it along the lower lash line, just in that outer corner as well. I think as you do get older, an eyeshadow powder as an eyeliner is much more flattering than a pencil. There we go. And same again over here. So along that lash line, to deepen up the lashes, make them look a bit thicker. And a little bit more, tapping off the excess, and just run it very gently underneath, just in that outer corner. I'm not going to bring it all the way across. And just go over that with my fingers like that. There we go. Lovely so far. Yeah, I really like it. And then just to add a bit of brightness in the inner corner, I love this shade here. So you've got two of the light sort of ivory creamy shades. This one is a matte, and this one here has got a little bit of shimmer to it. And I'm going to take it just on my finger there like this, and then place this in that inner corner and a little bit more. And this just adds a little bit of light and brightness into that inner corner. Beautiful. Same again on this side with this finger. Gorgeous. And I was really impressed as well at how little fallout there is from these shades, especially the shimmers. And this is, what is this? I think it's under £10. From either Boots or Superdrug. Less than £10 for this absolutely gorgeous palette. And I mean, look at that, look at my eyes. I'm so impressed with these shadows, with the quality of these shadows, with the staying power of them. I know that this primer is helping as well. But they're amazing. And I do have, as I've said in my other videos, I do have some Natasha Denona palettes, and I have a Pat McGrath palette. And to be honest with you, I'm just as happy with my eyeshadow look today as I am when I use those palettes. I mean, yeah, they're not the same. The quality is different. The packaging is different, obviously. But once they're on your eyes and once you have worked to blend them out, I'm just as happy with this look as I am with them. I really, really am. And yeah, I think that's great. So next then, I'm going to move on to mascara. And whenever I use a mascara, I always like to go in with my eyelash curlers first. This one is just an old one that I have from MAC. But I know that you can get some more affordable eyelash curlers as well. I believe Kiko do some good ones. Tweezerman do some really good ones as well. And for mascara, I'm going to use this L'Oreal Telescopic Lift in Waterproof. If you've seen me before, you'll always know that I need a waterproof mascara because of the oily lid situation. It can smudge on me. And I'm loving this Telescopic Lift from L'Oreal. I mean, if you want length, if you want a lengthening mascara, you cannot go wrong with this. You really can't. It's got one of these brushes as well. It's like the plasticky ones, but you've got the flat side and then you've got that side as well. So I think the idea is you apply the product with the flat side and then you go over it with the side with the longer brushes on there to just comb through your lashes, and it just really helps to separate them. But that's really effective, isn't it? I love that. And this, because it's waterproof as well, I have found it doesn't flake through the day. So for an affordable mascara, I think this is one of the best ones that you can get. I also like Maybelline mascaras too, if you're looking for one from the drugstore. So I'm just going to do the same again on this side. Just give my lashes a little bit of a curl. Waterproof mascaras as well, I find really help to hold the curl in your lashes as well. So if you do struggle with that, if you have very straight lashes or downturned lashes, it might help them if you do use a curler and then a waterproof mascara. It's worth a try, isn't it? See what you think, see if it helps. I know it helps me a lot. Okay, well, there we go. What do you think? I really, really like it. Okay, now then, we're nearly finished. We're on lips now, aren't we? And for my lip products today, I'm going to use one of the Maybelline, what's it called? Superstay ink crayons. I first got into these during the pandemic, you know, when we were all wearing masks, and I wanted a lip colour that wasn't going to transfer onto the mask, but I also wanted it to be quite long lasting as well, so that when you do go out and you're sitting down, you can take your mask off. I still wanted the colour to be visible, and that's when I discovered these and got really into them. This shade is called Stay Exceptional. And I love it because it's kind of a lip liner and a lip pencil in one. And it's one of those retractable ones as well. So if I just show you what I do with this, I first of all line the outer rim of my lip. Just like that. And on the bottom. And then I'll just fill in the area in between the lines. Oh, I love that colour. That sort of cool pink colour. I really, really like it. Gorgeous. And these are quite matte. So sometimes if I want a more sort of glossy finish, I will go over it with a lip gloss. And I don't think it's worth spending a lot of money on lip glosses. I've said this before, I really don't. My favourite one at the moment is by Rimmel, and it's their Oh My Gloss. These are so good. They never go sticky or like gloopy or anything like that. And this particular shade is in the colour Snog. And I'm going to just put some of this over the top. Really like this little sort of thinnish doe foot applicator. You can be really precise with it. And I'm just going to go over the centre. That is lovely. And there you go. Full face of affordable makeup. What do you think? Do let me know. Now, if you want to use a setting spray, you don't have to by any means, but if you want to, it can sometimes help to make it last a little bit longer. But more than that, if you've used a lot of powdery products, setting sprays can really, really help just to take away that powdery, chalky look, and it can help everything to just melt and fuse together nicely on your face. I mean, I don't feel that I am looking particularly powdery and chalky. I'm actually really pleased with the finish of these products on my skin. But I just wanted to show you this Milani setting spray. It's their Make It Last setting spray. And I think this is lovely. I'm just going to show you now how I use it. So I'll give it a little shake. I'll hold it about this far away from my face. I'll close my eyes and my lips and I'll just go like this. It's got a lovely fine mist, this has. You can't see any droplets of water on my face. And I've just squirted. You saw how much of this I put on my face. It's absolutely beautiful. It reminds me of the Charlotte Tilbury one, which I have upstairs. Just that lovely fine spray mister. Highly recommend it. If you want a drugstore setting spray, this Milani one I think is excellent. But there you go, full face is on. So I'm going to leave it there. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you've used any of these particular products, or if not, what are your favourite items from the drugstore. It's nice to try and save a bit of money, isn't it, where we can these days. And I think that these products will definitely help you to do that. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.